Best known for their acting and filmmaking.
These are the kind of movies I've enjoyed watching. I'm not someone who's into the fantasy.
They are known for prolific Bollywood performances.
In this film, we were observing the characters and how four people would respond naturally in a situation like this.
They work together for Gehraiyaan.
We were in search for a title that didn't lend itself to some kind of judgment, and we wanted it to be open.
NewsX India A-list proudly recognizes Deepika Padukone, Ananya Panday and Shakun Batra for excellence in acting and filmmaking.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-list series. We're in conversation today with the team of a very special film, which is all set to stream on Amazon Prime this February. Welcome, Shakun Batra, Deepika Padukone, and Ananya Panday. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much
for
doing this.
Let me begin with you first, the captain of the ship.
See, your title.
Yes, which is, of course, venturing through these waters, these deep waters, Shakun. So, firstly, tell us about the title. What led to Gehraiyaan being chosen as the most appropriate title? Was there something else that was being looked at earlier? And what made you cast the four of them as well? Were they the first choices? Who was the first to be cast? Tell us about how that happened.
Wow, a lot of questions. So let me start with the title. I think our search for the title was the longest. It took me longer to arrive at the title than the script and the cast, than all the rehearsals and the takes. So it's probably a 2-year journey to get to the title. But when it happened really quick. We were in search for a title that didn't lend itself to some kind of judgment, and we wanted it to be open to some kind of interpretation. So it wasn't reductive, so to say. In fact, it should be more open to interpretation, and it should be more inviting and inclusive. So when Aisha, who's the co-writer also on the project, she came up with the title. It did stick with me, but it took me a couple of days to feel that this was the one. And once we started working on the music, once the lyrics came in, it just felt like this was it, and at that time I was, to be honest, very nervous, and I thought if I waited any longer, we will not have a title. Yeah. And just to tell you that we never had crew t-shirts, and my crew is really upset about it because we did not know what to put on the crew t-shirt. So we never had crew t-shirts. So yeah, finally we arrived at this, and that was fantastic. Yeah. Coming down to the cast, that didn't take long. Funnily enough, the title took longer, but Deepika is always, on my mind. We met, that moved on pretty quickly. Sid, who isn't here, I watched him on in Gully Boy. He was so good that I'm so glad that it happened. There was somebody we found through casting. Ananya is somebody Aisha again had worked with, and she was sure that she was the right choice. And once I met her, I knew that she just had to be herself in the film. So that's that, and that's been the journey for the film so far.
Fantastic. Let me take that across then to the actors. Deepika, coming to you first. I was hearing you the other day at the trailer launch, and you were of course talking about how you were waiting to of course work with Shakun, and you knew that it would happen, and it has happened. Did you expect that it would happen with a project like this? Firstly, and secondly, you said then that the fact is that this is very new for you. The part, it's something you've never done before. And also something like this has never been seen in India before as well. Why do you feel that?
So, to your first question, did I know it would be something like this? Did I know it would be Gehraiyaan? No, but did I know that it would be something that I could really just sink my teeth into, and that it would be a film about relationships, and that's just very close to reality, raw. I did think that it would be that, because I do feel like those are the kind of movies that he makes. He's hugely inspired by Woody Allen and the likes. So I did feel like it would be, or at least I hoped. Let's say I didn't know. I did know. I just felt like I wished that it was this kind of film, where we, because also just as an audience and growing up, these are the kind of movies I've enjoyed watching. I'm not someone who's into the fantasy and fantastical kind of movies. I'm someone who's always enjoyed, again, the Woody Allen-esque sort of films. And as an actor as well, those are the kind of films I enjoy doing. So I did hope that it would be something like this, and it did. What was your next question?
Did you you also said that it's something that you've never done before in terms of the character?
It's something
and also
I've
it's
never
very new for
done.
India.
Yeah, I think just in terms of how layered this character is and how complex this character is, and the kind of choices that she makes in this film, and therefore the consequences of those choices. So yeah, I mean, if I had to sum it up, I think just the complexity of this character is something that I haven't had the opportunity to do before.
Okay.
And I think in terms of why I feel like Indian cinema hasn't seen this before is, again, similar to that extent. I just feel like if I zoom out a bit and you look at the different characters in the films and the different relationships between these characters, the way they've been treated through more of an observational lens and not so much of a black and white lens. I think in the way that intimacy has been brought into this movie.
Yeah.
And when I say intimacy, I don't mean just the physical intimacy, but just intimacy between characters. Even the music. The music is so fresh. The way it's been shot is so fresh. So I think it's just new for India at so many levels, which is why I feel that way.
Great, and let's hope it succeeds so we see more works like this as well. Yes, Shakun wants to add something very quickly before.
No, I was just keeping my fingers crossed, man.
Okay, fingers crossed. Okay, fair enough. Yes, Ananya, getting you in here on again, what appealed to you about the project when it came your way, and also the fact that obviously you all have really got along like like a house on fire. You've really bonded. Was that deliberate? Do you believe that there were a lot of workshops that happened before which led to this bonding? And tell us about your first encounters with all of them. Did you know them very well before, or was it actually because of filming that you got to know them?
So my answer is really similar to Deepika's when it comes to what attracted me to the film, and that is, I think, the complexities and the grayness in all the characters. I felt like usually in films we like to categorize people that this one's the bad one, this one's the good one. But in this film, we were observing the characters and how four people would respond naturally in a situation like this. And we weren't kind of forming any judgments, and that kind of appealed to me the most. But honestly, I just wanted to work with Shakun, and I would literally do anything that he was making, quite honestly. I'm just lucky that it was this one.
Okay.
She makes me sound like some 80-year-old man who's on his last leg, probably will never make a
this is
film
my
again.
last chance to work with Shakun.
You look like an 80-year-old.
But there's so many questions in one thing. So my first encounter, I didn't know. I knew Sid a little bit because we had done a bunch of interviews, as everyone knows, together. And Deepika, I'd met her like socially at parties and stuff. But I think the encounters, we all kind of encountered each other together at the workshops. And I think we all do kind of have a natural chemistry. Our sense of humors are very similar in that way. We all get along really well. But I think the workshops kind of cemented that. We were put into like this rigorous schedule of like yoga in the morning, and then we'd have intimacy workshops and acting classes and all of that. So it was quite hectic. We felt like we were in school. And I think because we were in those like weird situations, we'd get a break between everything. So we'd like giggle and discuss, oh, the teacher said this, the teacher did that, and kind of like compare notes and all of that stuff. So I think that really did help us bond a lot, the workshops,
Yeah, Uday, I was telling someone else before, Ananya came to me once and she thought she was joining a cult. Because it was also ritualistic, and the only thing we told her, we didn't tell her, was to wear a uniform. And
we'd be like with these bamboos and all. I was like, what are we doing?
She's like, are you slowly hypnotizing us?
I just got out of school. I didn't want to go back to school.
Yeah. And in fact, Deepika was saying the other day that everything was done together. from your meals
Yeah.
to, you know, everything else,
Yeah,
which is why
yeah.
you made it a point to go into water together as well with Siddhant. You were
Oh,
not
that
able
was
to-
amazing.
That
Yeah.
too. That too. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's your first OTT release as well. So I have to quickly ask you about that as well, Deepika, because Ananya had Khali Pili La, earlier. Even Shakun had release on Netflix, the documentary on Sheila, and but it's your first OTT release. So anticipations on that. What are your thoughts on? It's become the new normal, and also now people across the world can see you because you are an international star now as well.
I think a lot of people might question this decision. And it's so weird because a couple of months ago, my agent and I wanted to go and see Karan and Shakun and the team because we had discussed internally, and just based on the kind of film it was, we just felt that OTT was just the best platform for this. Now, would we have made this decision 2 years ago? Probably not. But I think the pandemic really has opened up so many avenues. Two and a half years ago, we set out for this to be a theatrical release. And then Karan at the same time reached out saying, I'd like to meet you and the team. And I think that he wanted to meet me to say that, listen, we think that, we know we set out to do a theatrical, but we think that it's best to do OTT. And I think he thought that we wanted to meet him to say, whatever you do, don't put this on OTT. You better make sure it's a theatrical release. And my agent and I walked in, and Shakun and Karan were already there, and we did the customary hi hellos. And the next thing we know, the meeting was over in 2 minutes because all four of us
Wanted to say
agreed
the same thing.
and felt that we went there to say we think this should be an OTT release, and they thought that I would resist that.
Okay.
And we were like, no, we've actually come to say, yes, please put this on OTT. And that was that. And then we spent the next 45 minutes eating sandwiches.
Yeah, I think
so. I think it's just, like I said, I don't think when we set out to make this film, we thought of it like that.
Yep.
But I think as things opened up, and when I mean opened up, as OTT opened up in India, and if you see the way the West functions now, there's literally just a handful of films that actually release now theatrically. Most of them go straight to OTT. You have, if Disney, if I'm not mistaken, their last couple of animation films have gone straight to OTT. So it just felt like the right thing to do. And I think it's incredible today that as filmmakers, as producers, as creative people, you have the choice to decide which platform you want to cater your film to. And it's just as simple as that. And yes, of course, the fact that you can watch it in the comfort of your homes, you can watch it at a time that is convenient for you.
And you can watch it again and again.
And you can watch it again and again. And you can watch it anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So I think just it makes the possibilities endless.
Okay.
When it's this kind of a release,
Fantastic. Okay, well, we've run out of time, but I'll leave you the last word as well, the captain of the ship once again, Shakun Batra. And this is and quickly you can answer this, quickly, 30 seconds to you on, do you believe the time is right? The Karan Johar was asked this question the other day, and he is of course the producer of this film as well, that some people said for Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, it was too early. It was too early before its time. Do you believe that Gehraiyaan 2022, this is the perfect time? The time has arrived for a film like this?
I think we've always told these stories. I think we maybe less of these, but we've had a Devdas, we've had a Lamhe, we've had Kank, and eventually these stories find their time and space.
Okay.
I'm not. I think. I wanted to respect the maturity of the audience, and I think we are there. We are there, and I can only keep my fingers crossed because I really hope that these are the kind of films me and a lot of people I know would want to watch.
Absolutely. So would I. So would I. Let me echo there. Thank you so much for joining us, all of you. And as I said, here's really wishing you the very best because, as we were saying earlier, that the audiences need to watch it and applaud it so that more such projects are made in the country. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Uday.
Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.